This is not the video, the long video I still have to edit that I talk about on the previous video I posted. But inspiration hit. I had a lot to say. I opened my notes up to write down my thoughts, since it's not always. I'm feeling quite adept at explaining myself and being clear in my points and what I'm trying to convey. I owe nothing to this place, this culture, country. Their values and way of life are completely contrary to who I am at my core. Oh, what you were assigned at birth doesn't define who you are at all. It doesn't have to, at least. I'm incapable of being conditioned. This is something I've had in a tarot reading once that I completely identify with that someone said about me, and it's completely true. Some other things that have been quite affirming in the situation that they said were this is a this is an ugly duckling situation. That's like I'm a plant, a flower native to other environments, and I can't grow or bloom here. It's not the right environment for me. It's not where I belong. And also, they also said once that a reader said that people here were like a different species. Someone else said it's like oil and water, we just don't mix. There is nothing insert nationality that was imposed on me here, just because I don't want to say because I don't want to be associated with it. So yeah, there's nothing insert nationality that was imposed on me here about me. Neither inherent nor learned. It's not in my nature or anything about me. The idea that I was brainwashed is laughable. It's people here that try to colonize, brainwash, condition, and make me into someone I'm not. I didn't say it's who I am because of yes, the ethnicity and country of my parents and because of where I was born. Culture is a cult. I am smart for not believing in it and for not being a part of this cult. You know, culture and your parents and everything is basically Stockholm syndrome. I raised myself in another culture and isolated myself from this place because this is disturbing to me. Oh, I forgot to talk to say this. At the beginning of the video, I was born in a third world country, in a underdeveloped country, and yeah, if I had been born in a better country, I wouldn't have had a life as shitty as I have, and I wouldn't be complaining because things would be okay for me. Like it, I obviously don't want to be associated with this place, but I'll just say, and that's saying too much even, that I was born and am forced to live in a Latin American country in South America. And like I know if I had been born somewhere else that doesn't match who I am, like I wouldn't have believed in an Eastern religion had I been born in the Middle East. Even if that would get me killed by my family or the state, being forced to live where I do is like torture to me. And I have always known I would have to escape in one way or another, and I almost escaped by self-exiting 2 years ago. My long distance partner, who had just come into my life, saved me. Had I been born anywhere in the world, anywhere else, you know, um, doesn't matter. By the way, I don't belong where I was born. Doesn't matter where had I been born. Doesn't matter where I was born. I would be the same person, have the same values and beliefs. I would have been an apostate had I been born in in the Middle East or something, and I would not have that culture as my normal. I would have hated my family, just like I wasn't conditioned here. I incapable of being conditioned. If I had been born in a place that matches who I am, I would have fit in. Any place that doesn't match who I am, I wouldn't have, just like I didn't have when I was born here where I don't belong. I'm incapable of being conditioned. You are not a product of your environment. At least I'm not. I'm not a product of um biological nature or nurture. The nature of my soul, of my being, is what determines who I am, and that has existed and comes before any circumstance. So I'm not a product of nature nor nurture, not product of biological nature. Yeah, the nature of my soul, of my being, is what determines who I am, and it has existed and comes before any circumstance. I am a Fermi of trans identities, and I am an idealist, not a materialist. I believe consciousness creates the brain, not the other way around. I know we are not the meat, we are the viewer. Even though I'm like a mystic, I'm spiritual, I awakened in my 20s. Um, Before that, I identify as um, materialist and an atheist. And, my parents have a weird religion. I never lived in that, not even as a child. So, yeah, couldn't be conditioned, mate. I'm sorry. Not sorry. So, yeah, I would have never been religious, you know. I don't believe in like dogma and the bad. A lot of times, oftentimes bad, like socially conservative and strict, like version of spirituality that major religions have, and how they want you to be a slave, basically, and think that if you don't accept or follow their rules, that you're going to hell or something like that. Well, I follow what's right for me. I have my own values, my own morals. I think for myself, and as a spiritual person, when I became spiritual, I found, my own spirituality, what it means to me. I didn't have to have other people say what they think is true. So yeah, even still, I'm completely convinced. Oh, even still, like, even though I'm a mystic and a spiritual person, I used to be like a more materialist, like, care more about facts and science and stuff like that. Like, even still, I am completely convinced that just like science has found a way, transness is explained by like the brain, whatever. In my opinion, like could be more reflected than explained because the truth is in someone's soul. Like if someone is a woman, is a trans woman, it's just because she's a woman inside in her soul. I mean, that would show like in the brain, whatever, but the truth of her soul, her being a woman, comes first, and circumstances and her body doesn't matter. That's what I'm trying to say here. The truth is in someone's soul. But yeah, even like science could show that a trans woman is a woman, is what I'm trying to say. Like, science shows that a trans woman brain functions like a woman's brain, and basically it doesn't match their body, their assigned gender at birth. We have that backed by science, but at some point in the past was considered a mental illness, but it's not. I'm saying that, like, probably we're backed by science that I don't belong here. That this is not my culture or who I am or my identity, basically, is what I'm trying to say here. The fact that I'm not from here would be shown that my values, way of thinking, what is normal to me, and yes, even my culture wouldn't be from here. Like, I feel like maybe imposter syndrome, talking, saying where I identify as being what I consider my home, but I don't know if I think it should be pretty obvious, but yeah, like to me, I completely own it, but I feel a bit self conscious talking to other people about it because I don't know, like, yeah, yeah. In a psychological medical evaluation, we showed that what they try to socialize me as, condition me to, is completely incompatible with the very nature of my being and the way my brain operates and what my truth is. You wouldn't live here. This is not livable. It's not the life a child deserves. It doesn't provide a rich environment for growth, curiosity, freedom, opportunities, creativity, quality of life. It's unlivable. Bad schools, ugly buildings, violence, squalor, ignorance, abuse, all normalized here. They are all pro life here, and abortion is illegal. It's not a good place to live. They have backwards values. But it's somehow expected to be my normal and for me to build a life here and think it's good and not complain. Also, something else that I forgot to write on my notes was that, like, the more, the worse a country is to be born in, the shittier someone's life would be, the more screwed they are, the more they're forced to be born there because, like, abortion is illegal and things like that. Somehow it somehow somehow it's expected. Somehow this is expected to be my normal, and for me to build a life here and think it's good and not complain. When I have nothing in common with these people, there is no life for me here. This isn't home. And also, this is objectively bad. No quality of life. I don't share values or culture with people here. You wouldn't live here. It's not a life you want for yourself or to give your children. But because of the ethnicity of my parents, that's what is expected of me and for me to be when it's not who I am. My parents abandoned me. Regardless, they were ethnically and culturally from here, just like my adoptive parents, and abuse is normalized here. Part of life and culture itself here. I wouldn't have fitting, for example, in the Middle East either, like biological parent, adopted, whatever. I would have been an apostate who doesn't share their values. I can say that for sure. I'm incapable of being conditioned. I think for myself. I know who I am, and that's regardless of where I was born. Can you say the same for yourself? For yourself, can you say you'd be the same person no matter where you were born? Who I am is not a product. It's not a product of biology or of no or of nurture, socialization, the way I was raised, or the life that was forced on me. This is not my culture. The family that raised me is not my family. This is not my country. I have an identity in life. Oh, I have had an identity in life imposed on me that do not match my truth or who I am inside. This has always felt like an ugly charade. Had I been born and my soul and heart somewhere on earth, it would have been right. It would have been correct. I would have felt right at home and fit in because I would have been right at home, right? To most people here, this is paradise. This is their home. They're natural. This is them, their identity. They're proud of it. They are it. They reproduce it. To me, this is my personal hell. And if you were born in a first world country, you probably wouldn't like it here or fit in here either. I exist. I am valid. I'm not mentally ill. I'm not wrong. I don't speak that language. Literally and metaphorically speaking, I could never be happy here. I don't belong here. I'm not one of them. I have always known this place was the problem. Thank you for listening, for sticking around until the end. Links are in the description to my story to read more about it. And yeah, and to other social media as well. Thank you. I hope you have a nice day. Living here for me is agony. Hope it's better where you are. Thank you. Don't leave me in comments, please.